everybody. Welcome back to our Spotify channel and the YouTube channel. I know I look hot. Thank you so much. Yeah. Please tell us what you think about today.
Yolanda, you
do not give them yet, but just, yeah.
No, I wanted to compliment you. I was going to say, you look pretty every day. I can see today you are obviously embodying your animal spirit. Not only do you look like a cow, now you dress like a cheetah. I love it for you.
Anyway, we have bombs today. We always give you guys premium content. And I'm going to give it to Yaya because they are friends, apparently. I'm a guest today.
It's not apparent.
You guys are not friends. Well, she says they are friends. I don't believe her. So she's going to introduce her. Okay, introduce again.
Okay, so Yolanda, it's okay if you're feeling left out. You don't have to be like, so sus about it. I understand. I know.
Introduce our guest. Yeah.
Anyways, hello everybody and welcome to another wonderful episode of Loud Wednesdays with Yolanda. Like Yolanda says, we have an amazing guest with us today, and you are going to hear everything firsthand from the horse's mouth on Loud Wednesdays with Yolanda. Now, we have the most beautiful, multi-talented, not only is she an actress, she's a model, she's a DJ, also she has the most amazing singing voice. Do people know you can sing Nirvana?
I think so.
She has the most amazing singing voice. Guys, we have Nirvana Nokwe in the house. Hello, Nirvana. Gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling a little bit teary-eyed because I missed this community so much.
Really?
Yeah. Aww. So, because we used to go to auditions, guys.
We used to audition together. And for those who don't know, Nirvana and I actually did an advert together. Back in 2022.
Yeah.
Yolanda.
It was for Edgar's, wasn't it? Was it for Edgar's?
No, it was for Benini.
Oh my gosh, the advert is so beautiful.
I still have those pictures. We'll have them on the screen.
Yeah.
We looked so
beautiful.
We were like the Benini babe.
Wow. I was there also somewhere.
In your dreams.
I met Yaya 2021, so maybe I met Yaya first.
It's not a competition.
How are you?
I'm good. I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders.
Really?
Yeah. So
you look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You look very pretty.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, you look pretty in person.
Yeah. Do you put makeup?
I do. I can't find black opal anymore.
Oh, it's actually discontinued.
I used to love black opal.
It was so expensive. I never understood.
No, black opal was not that expensive.
Yeah, it was really affordable. But
I felt like it was maybe my.
But it depends where you bought it.
Oh,
it does.
I think she's mistaking that other. Black up. Are you not mistaking black up for black? Yes. She's mistaking black up for black opal.
Yes.
I know. Yeah.
So that was pretty much the only foundation that treated me well. I don't know where to go from here.
Really?
Do you want a full coverage or?
Yes.
Okay, so I use two actually. Okay. I use two brands. I use Laura Beauty. Mm-hmm. It's a Nigerian brand, and I use Estee Lauder Double A. So
how is it dry? Does it dry out your skin? Because I don't like matte.
Okay, so Laura Beauty is absolutely mattifying.
Ish.
So if you have dry skin like me, I shouldn't be using it, but I just love the coverage. It'll cake up because obviously it's super mattifying because obviously Nigeria, the humidity is insane. So I think it was designed for that atmosphere. However, with you use Double A also. Double A for me, I think, it's semi-mattifying, but the coverage is amazing.
Yeah, Double A is amazing. I would recommend it. And you don't really feel like you have makeup on.
It's very light.
It's very light.
Okay.
But I prefer Fenty now.
Oh, I've never tried Fenty. The only thing I've tried from
Fenty. If you
try
Fenty, I'm telling you,
I don't think so. And can I tell you why I'm saying I don't think so? Because when I went to re-up on my foundation, the lady from the Fenty store pulled me aside and she was like, why don't you try Fenty? I was like, okay, let's put some on, let's see. But it didn't give me the coverage I feel like I get from Estee
I think
Lauder.
maybe it's the one she used.
Nah.
Because they're different. So with makeup, you would have the one with less anyana coverage because some people don't like that.
Yeah.
There's one that was, because the one that I use, the moment I go, boom.
It's done. It's done.
I'm wearing a Lauder now, by the way. But it's because my Fenty is finished.
Okay.
And it's not that affordable.
But I feel like Fenty and Estee Lauder are the same price range.
Yeah, but
Yeah, they are.
So when it finished, I was left with Estee Lauder because I was not using Estee Lauder, I was using Fenty.
Oh,
So now I'm
now you're using Estee
yeah, because
Lauder.
it's there.
Justice for Estee Lauder.
No, they're beautiful coverages, but I love the fact that you look amazing.
Thank you.
You feel very confident without makeup.
Thank
It can never be me, Gesan.
Or it can always be me.
Okay.
I can never be me. I'm sorry, I just can't.
like
I tried. Like today, I was like, because of my skin and because it's winter, I was like, I'm trying to recover because my eczema is breaking out under my eyes. Right, it's flaring up. And I realized that when I don't wear makeup, the skin heals a little. So I was like, maybe let me not. And then I was like,
So tell me about your DJing. I know you're a DJ now. I didn't know you were a DJ. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just saw it. I'm like, hypo!
the only DJ in the world?
Please tell me about the
We're
DJing.
DJ now.
Yeah!
Let's do it
Right!
Can I be your hype woman? I feel so left out. Can I be your hype woman?
She must be there.
But
just
like,
Wow, we'll think about it. We'll think about it. Please tell me about your DJing.
So I started last year, like late last year. I was learning at Maporisa's studio.
Oh, wow.
But I wasn't taught by Pori himself. I was taught by the guys that are under, or at least like work with his label, the producers. So like Cian, Boozy, like very talented young producers. And I was with my friend Leandra, and her and I had just come out with like 2 singles. One was Mfana wa Pitoli, and then the other one was Unotoli. And yeah, basically we were just like, what are we gonna do? We're broke. Like it's tough right now. It's really, really tough right now. And her and I have like such a great, you see your work chemistry?
Yeah.
Same.
You think we have work chemistry?
I think
She wishes.
I think it takes a special kind of safety to grill each other. Especially as women. I think there's a special kind of love and safety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like Leandra and I were just like, we met through the music, and then we just started hustling together, and then we were like, we gotta learn how to DJ because there's nothing for us to do. Like I wasn't getting booked anymore. Like I don't know what was going on. Like I felt like I was blackballed. A lot was going on. And so we were just trying to hustle. But DJing is something that I've always wanted to do since I was like in high school. And I was so in love with Qom, you know, like
Really?
I'm very much in love with
She's
Qom.
from
Well, I'm from
KZN?
I was born here, but yes, home is I live home now. I live in KZN, yeah. But yeah, like I mean, on our street in because Kwamashu is home, so on our street, like there's this guy named Ukutu, and he's got like this, like so this is our house, and then you go further down, and then he lives like down there, and then everybody just parks their car there. And it's a morning banger, and then he'll just DJ, and you'll hear Qom like 24/7. So like that street is just like music and groove like galore.
Yeah.
So it's just like I guess it's in my blood to love Qom and music. Yeah.
So do you only play Qom?
No, I also play Afrotech. I learned with piano.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm just trying to learn what's it called, and of course old school house because my cousin A Cutie is a DJ as well. Yeah, and she's based in New York, so you guys should have her
Are
on the
we
show.
going to New York?
Yes, we have to go to New York. Guys, no, but guys, like in New York, the modeling culture is actually really dope. Like I feel like the South African girlies who are used to auditioning and things like that. Like if we were to go as a group to New York and we get like our visa sorted and just try out a bunch of agencies together, I think that would be very, very fun.
I think they'll actually, especially me, they'll pick me everywhere. They'll be like, we want her, we want her, we want her, we want her, we want her. I'm kidding.
No, own it, girl. Own it.
You know, I think going back to what you said about the modeling culture overseas, I always say this. The culture in South Africa, the modeling culture in South Africa is so behind. And it has so much catching up to do.
Yeah.
So
And we have a lot of beautiful girls in South Africa that can walk and beautiful in many shapes.
in different ways.
And also different like two colors and stuff.
Yes.
Yolanda, not everything is about you. Now I quit this show.
Yeah.
So, Nirvana, speaking of your acting career, right? As you said, like last year, you know, it was a dry
Very rocky.
season,
Yeah,
you know,
very
and I
rocky.
feel like that happens. It happens sometimes, you know, where you feel like, damn, like what's happening? You obviously came out a few weeks ago about an incident that happened on set. But before we go into that, I just want to know, like, how are you feeling coming like into the conversation?
I think I've been talking about it so much. I think there's a part of me that's like really exhausted because I've had to face people who are very committed to misunderstanding. Yeah, and that's very frustrating. Like, even just outside of like my own personal experience, it's so like it makes me feel disgusted and disheartened that like people don't understand the definition of sexual assault. People or people do understand and they're comfortable with it, you know? And there's like, I think the amount of hate and the amount of, I mean, let's just talk about the hate first before I go into the love. I think the amount of hate I experienced made sense because the stats say this is a national disaster. It really is a femicide. And it made sense, but I was just so disgusted and it made me not want to deal with a lot of people ever again anymore. And I'm glad that I've gotten to that point because like I've really been processing about it and I've been praying to God about it. And I'm just, you know, there's comments that stick out in my mind that I saw that were like, oh, lento mazanyeyisa, and like even if ngiyeyisa, it happened to me. Like, what do you expect me to do? Do you like roll over and play dead and be like, oh my gosh, please acknowledge that you assaulted me? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you expect me to say? Because like I've been polite for so long. I've tried for so long, and like there was just a deliberate effort to just discard. So another thing that I'm very very much getting into is like healing from narcissistic abuse. And I really feel like everybody should like watch Richard Grannon on YouTube and read his book called Cult of One, because there's an element of whatever ism that we experience as a society that's deeply narcissistic, right? We can call it racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, but like when you look at the characteristic of the thing, right? It's narcissism at its core. Whatever ism it's narcissism, and it's basically like trying to recruit people into its own ideology. So the only way you survive a narcissistic system is becoming a narcissist yourself. So I was looking at those comments and I was just like, ooh, like now you want me to perform my pain in a way that's palatable for you after this whole time of me trying to, I guess, negotiate and find a nice a safe way for my perpetrator to feel safe to acknowledge again in writing when, you know, there were witnesses on set. And I think we, like, for me, it was so disappointing, and I really am disgusted. I really am disgusted about society and where we're at, you know, and it's not all of us. I'm also very proud of the fact that there's so many of us who still believe in human dignity, you know, and aggressively so. And it's about time that we're loud and aggressive about human dignity. And I think that in this time of healing, I think the generations before us, and it's not to say all of them, but there are some. You know, I saw one comment saying, I'm coming to you as a mother, Nirvana. Think about this, pray, meditate, heal, and I'm just like, this is not disconnected from God at all. Like when we look at the Bible, Christ himself was turning over tables and saying, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Because to heal is to respond appropriately to the situation that is in front of you. And none of what happened to me was appropriate. And it's systemic. And I think that people sometimes, like when it's systemic and it comes to my money or doing what's right, because that's what people think it is. And it's not, there's so many nuances in between. right? Where I feel that you can preserve your bag and still do the right thing. There's so many ways of, there's so many ways. Like, we need to get out of this black and white thinking and really start to contemplate and think about things a little. So yeah, and I feel a lot better acknowledging the fact that I'm very disgusted. Yeah.
No, I actually saw online, like, a whole lot of people were saying a whole lot of things. But what I want to find out is, I feel like a lot of people are misunderstanding the story of what really happened. People think you were raped. People think it was a sex scene. And I've seen that it was not really a sex scene.
No.
It was not really what a lot of people are saying. So humbly so, can you maybe explain again
what it was,
really happened and what it was, so that those who missed it will probably get it.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's, I want to separate certain things. So there's the character, right? And then there's the person who's playing the character, which was me. And then there's the story, and then the setup, right? And then what we are trying to tell people about what's happening within the story, right? So the director wanted 2 variations of the scene. One where it was just the murder, and then another one where it was a murder and a rape implied, right? So, you know when, like, those scenes where, like, the man and the woman are looking at each other, and then she takes off her gown and then she drops it, and then it cuts to the next scene. Does it mean that they actually had sex, or that they physically had sex on set, or does it imply that they're about to have sex?
It implies.
It implies, exactly. So the variation where, the rape was meant to take, or was meant to be implied, we weren't meant to simulate. And when I say simulate, is like actually like physically perform as though it's happening. And I was very explicit. For weeks we'd been discussing how we're going to approach the scene, because it's not my first time telling a story like this, right? And I think a lot of people were like, oh, why did you choose this story if you're not comfortable with it? I'm like, it's not my first time telling the story, again, in the previous story, similar to this character, it was a rape implied again, right? So it wasn't simulated at all, right? It wasn't a simulated sexual scene like I've done in my more romantic roles and the romantic stories. So the scene was meant to end on my close-up of just me screaming over the car bonnets, right? And then cut. Okay. And then you immediately are like, oh, it's about to happen. Yeah. Essentially, I'll just get to the last part of the scene. He would push me over the car bonnet on my stomach, and he would lay on my back and whisper something in my ear, and we're both in the close-up, and then he would get out of the close-up, and then you'd just see me screaming.
Okay.
So when he got out of the close-up, I screamed for a few moments, and then he thrusted me. Yeah. And that was off script, off script. And it was specifically that was the very specific boundary that he shouldn't have crossed. So that's pretty disgusting.
But there's no way no one saw that.
They did. They did. They did. They definitely did. Some crew members, there's this woman, and I won't mention her name, excuse me. There's this woman who was on the set. Of course, you guys know how it is on set. It's largely very impersonal, of course, even if you're jokey. But it's not to say that like now you're going to take everybody's numbers and be friends with them and you know every single person's name. In fact, on sets, it's usually don't really talk to the talent. Almost, almost. Not every set, but the general consensus is like keep it professional, try to protect the emotional world that the character's trying to build, things like that. So when this was going viral, someone hit me up on DM and was like, Nirvana, we were having a discussion about what you've gone through on set, on a set that I was working on in Cape Town. This is what the lady's saying. And one of the girls who is working in X departments, I don't want to explicitly say which department it is, she was like, oh my gosh, yes, I saw what happened to her. And then she proceeded to say, I just wanted to let you know this because to say that we believe you and maybe just reach out to her and find out if she'd be comfortable to testify, which of course she can't testify because the cops don't even understand what the definition of sexual assault is.
I was about to ask you to maybe kind of like explain thrusting because a lot of us didn't.
It's like dry humping.
Oh.
Yeah, it's dry humping.
So he was like, while you were on the bonnet.
Yeah, he put his privates. Yeah, he pushed his privates into mine. I mean, we were clothed.
There's no way you can see that.
No, people saw. Yeah, people saw. And the production company says that they investigated and found no insufficient evidence, which is strange because number one, how do you investigate yourself? Because essentially, even though he did it, that's a breach of contracts because nothing of a sexual nature I was meant to do in my contract. I was not, there was nothing of a sexual nature that I was meant to do on that particular show, and that's what I signed for. And that's what we'd been discussing. And so also it's like you invesigate yourselves, but you also, your heads of production or some of your heads of production witnessed the admission of guilt. Yeah.
Just looking back on everything that's happened and what happened after the scene took place, do you feel like there's enough support system for actors that play vulnerable characters?
No.
In place?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon just because of what like the rape culture of South Africa, right? Like it's coming out in everything, in everything, whether you go to the cops or whether you're like the rape culture it's there, so I think there's not enough support there, but it's also just like the general consensus of South Africa and the way we think. So I don't think there will be supports because people don't really understand consent. I think people understand coercive control. That's the culture of South Africa. It's coercive control. It's assumed consent because I'm inside your house. You assume consent because
wearing a short skirt.
Yes, you assume consent because we're at the same table and I bought a bottle. Like it's a lot of assumed consent or assumed consent just because I'm attracted to you, And this goes both ways with both genders because I've seen a lot of predatory women as well within the space that I was working in, and so it's very much about coercive control.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Even women would act. So it's not only like, okay, I see.
Yeah, because how do I put this? Like maleness and like being a man is not inherently predatory. You're not, just because you're a man doesn't mean you're automatically a predator.
Okay.
And just because you're a woman doesn't mean you're automatically a victim. Even though the stats, right, are pointing to a culture where, women are more vulnerable, right? So when I refuse to, and it's so unfortunate because people will be like asking me to compromise. So like first, their commitment was, first of all, I need to clarify that I was not the one who initiated any of the process of remedy. It was the production because they knew what happened. They saw what happened or they heard what happened, right? Or they heard him say, I did it. I'm sorry. I take full accountability. Yeah. Have grace. He said have grace. I was just, okay, it doesn't matter.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild, Again, coercive control. You're eroding someone's emotional space and agency and trying to control how they respond to what you've done to them. It's so, it's like very icky, right? Yeah. And so like, they were like, Nirvana, we're going to deal with this, appropriately. He can't get carried away. He's an actor. This is what I'm hearing from the directors. Like, okay, and from one of the producers, Nirvana, just have a think about what you want to happen, what you want to happen, and we'll meet tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. And then another director saying, Nirvana, I tossed and turned with worry about what happened last night. I just want to assure you that we're going to deal with this appropriately. And then from that to going into meetings, and going into meetings, they're like, we're going to facilitate the apology, going to therapy, the written apology, because I didn't want to hear him tell me to have grace again. And yeah, and then it's like emails. Yeah, we're facilitating the apology. Okay. A safety officer from a different organization is involved now, and she's like, can you compromise on a mediated meeting? Okay, sure. Okay, when's the meeting happening? 6 months go by. Okay, are we still having the meeting? 8 months go by. Are we still having the meeting? No.
So no apology written, anything?
It never happened.
Do you feel like you were let down by production?
Yes. I was. Yeah, I was. So it's just like, you can't, and I'm so grateful to God for teaching me this lesson. You can't people please your way into being treated right by people who don't want to treat you right. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, there's nothing that you can do, about someone who is choosing to be badly behaved or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, their values are skewed.
Yeah.
But then what do you think made them not to really wanna go forward with your situation and kind of like protecting him in a way? Because if they just not do anything after, it was kind of like protecting him and not really going through with the whole...
Yeah, I think it had to do with the fact that he was the lead on the show, Yeah, I think it had to do with the fact that he was the lead on the show, and he was also like, I did it, and then Ngokamba was cutting, I didn't do it, and then it's like, I did, you know what I mean? It's just like, so yeah, it's really sad. Like, actually, when I think about it even more, I'm like, I'm very much disgusted, and and it's like, and also, there were women who, were silencing me. Yeah, there were women who were in executive positions of power to really influence the change, that silenced me, who would also tell me that they've had to make compromises as well. How
does it feel when that comes from a female? Like, how does that feel when the silencing comes from a female?
Yeah. I think it makes me feel like I no longer believe in feminism. Yeah. And it's fair for me to say that, because even the people in my comments who were saying, how can you, like, I told them why. It's because of this experience. I was like, I no longer believe in feminism because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And this is what I went through. And like, the people who silenced this were women. I saw men being proactive about going ahead, but their bosses were women, and their bosses are telling me, even at my level, I have to compromise. I have to pick my battles, and I don't. So I'm just like, when I think about the framework of feminism, right? And I get like, sometimes someone will say, I'm a feminist because they believe in self-sovereignty and freedom. And someone will say, I'm a feminist because they believe that they, as a woman, are inherently superior to everyone else, and they want to be even more superior. Do you get what I mean? Like, so that's why I don't want to, I no longer believe in I don't. And actually, when I think about when I was younger, I didn't believe in it. I would actually be like, I actually believe in respect and human dignity. And I really want to just move away from that labeling. And I think that, like, it just made me really introspect about, okay, what is like, what's the actual definition? It's like, okay, we're fighting for equal rights with men. Okay, in the patriarchy. Oh, that's strange. Oh, we're fighting to have equal rights in a patriarchy that's already not equal in rights. Already there's a hierarchy within page. Already that system is already messed up, right? And even the fact that I don't want to genderize my liberation. You know, I don't want to fit like I'm human. You know, and yeah, I think it just makes me disappointed, and it showed a lot, and it made me. It's just like. So you're basically fighting to have equal rights to also be abused like the other men who are also being controlled and abused by other men. Or you want to be the person abusing, which is not the liberation I actually want, you know, because the patriarchy is not the thing that I want, you know. I want an interdependent society, you know. I believe in that, you know, which is why I'm so passionate about, you know, indigenous knowledge systems, African spirituality, not the performative stuff that we're seeing right now, but like actual, like if something goes wrong, the family needs to heal it this way. Or the community needs to heal it this way. This is how we decide injustices are dealt with together without silencing anyone. So yeah.
It's so interesting you say that. I've always said this. So I've never really been like a big advocate of feminism. And the reason why I say that is because I've always believed that no matter how hard we try, men and women will never be equal. The world is a big boys club, and it's going to remain a big boys club until Jesus comes back. And unfortunately, that's just like the essence of it. What I want to know from you, Nirvana, is what would you like directors and producers and fellow actors to understand about trust when performing a difficult scene?
That's a beautiful question. Wow. So trust and integrity are very much intertwined. You can't have one without the other. And I think that like when we lie to ourselves and each other about what we're comfortable with, because I took my co-star through a consent exercise, right? And this is done by a lot of intimacy coordinators, right? I took him through a consent exercise because this second variation of the scene is quite intimate, right? There was a stunt coordinator, but this part was a bit intimate, even though it wasn't sexual, even though it wasn't going, but it's like you're gonna be laying on my back. So we can't assume that we both have the same ideas of safety. We have to communicate them, right? So I took him through. I was like, okay, these are my green zones, and the sick thing is, I've seen him say that he was the one who initiated the consent exercise, and he wasn't, you know. And I sensed that when we were doing the consent exercise, that perhaps this is his first time doing it. I sensed that. Okay. So I told him what my green zones are. I'm like, this is a green zone. This is a complete red zone. So, and he was like, I'm cool with everything. Just don't touch my D, you know? And I'm like, okay. So, okay, cool. That's how you want to do it. But like, this is my green zone, red zone, you know? My back is a green zone. And that kind of clarity and being very specific and being so in tune with your body and honest with the other person to say, I feel a bit nervous right now. I don't know if I'm going to nail my performance. Okay, then we talk about it, you know? But you can't have that when you're not honest. You can't have trust when you're not honest, you know? So it is very sad because when someone else thinks that they have to dominate or control a situation instead of working with you, there's no trust there because that person's not even seeing you as a human being. They're just seeing themselves as the big boss. You know what I mean? And when he, you know, because he was like, he asked me, he was like, it wasn't even an ask. He was like, let's make it real a little bit, you know. I mean, if
what does making it real?
I was like, and I was very, you know, I'm not going to speak for him, but I told him, I was like, you know, you're not gonna thrust anything. We're not doing anything of a sexual nature. It's gonna be implied in a close up. You know what I mean? So it's just like the boundary is clear. Your red zone, you have a red zone that's very similar to mine. We both don't want to be touched down there. Yeah, but I think he was like, he said, give it a little flinch. You know, that's how SAFTAs are attained. And I was like, it's
a flinch.
Like, I was like, I'm gonna give my performance the way I want to give the performance to this character.
Yeah. Do you think his slight comments were trying to desensitize you? Do you think maybe his performance was prehabitated? I don't know if that's saying it.
I think maybe he had already made up his mind
about how he wanted to go.
Do that. Yeah. So he's trying to like come and let's do it.
Desensitize you. And
I don't know if that's what she's trying to say.
I hear that. I hear that. I mean, we could say yes because of what happened after. You know, the boundary was so clear. My boundary was it was contractually clear. It was clear with the director. It was clear with me. It was clear when we were doing the consent exercise. It was clear. It was clear. It was said multiple times. So now I asked myself, you know, what is this thing, this spirit, this ideology that tells people that it's okay to supersede someone else's boundaries when they've communicated them? And that's why, this is why I no longer believe in feminism, because it's a lot of it has become dogma, and I'm not judging anybody. Like, if you believe in feminism and your values are aligned with what you feel it is, great, and that's how you label yourself. But from my experience, I started to lose my sovereignty. It felt not okay to say I don't agree with this anymore. And I think when you're in a space where you can't disagree with people, that's a very narcissistic, psychopathic, dangerous space. And it's and even if on paper we say you are allowed to disagree, then we're coercively controlling people to agree with us, even though they don't agree, because there's consequences to you disagreeing with them in real life. Yeah.
So do you think, because this thing happened 2024, right? 2023. And then how was your working situation after that? Like, did you still get jobs? Did you still get bookings?
Or
were you turning them down?
So there was a point where, so after it happened, because I was still in the minds that there was still going to be a mediation, right? To the point where I was like, maybe it's just because they're shooting. Maybe, that's the reason that it's not happening. So I kind of just, I was like, okay. But then I shot another show, and then I remember I fell on the set on my head, and that was a moment where I remembered, I'm like, actually, I'm not okay. Like, when is this apology coming? So I emailed my agent and I'm like, when is this apology coming? And she follows up with the production, and the production tell me, Smanbani's father passed away, and I got COVID, and we've been very busy, but we care about this, and don't think that we haven't. You have said yourself that we've handled this with care, and now it's no longer what happened, it's an alleged incident. And now this is being said by a woman who wasn't even present on the day to witness anything, And she was the one who was telling me, Nirvana, I've been violated before, I've been raped, and I've had to, it's so strange. Like I'm not trying to negotiate about my body anymore.
That is so true. I don't even understand why people like doing that.
Yes. It's like, okay, well, I think sometimes people, how do I even put this? And I want to be very careful with my words, but like sometimes people are angry that something is being dealt with, or someone is owning the fact that this is my body when they didn't, you know. And sometimes the situation was too dangerous for them to even, but whether it was or it wasn't, the fact that someone else is saying, no, this is my body, you know, and now, but they had to compromise.
So it's like, what's so special about
you that you can get some form of justice?
Nirvana, so obviously, you know, you came out and there's been, you know, obviously comments from
a lot of people
out the outside. What would you say to people who feel like your co-star is just a passionate performer and he was just trying to give a passionate performance because you know how his performance style is? Like, what would you say to people that say that?
Well, then he almost passionately stabbed me with the real knife on set, then we can say that.
Yeah. Oh, that's, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it also, he was out the shots. He didn't have to perform any more. He was out the shots.
So no one could see
him because he came out the shot.
The performance was done.
Yeah.
He didn't have to.
He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do it, you know? And that's why the director, when they had a meeting with him before they called rap, was like, he can't get carried away. He's an actor. Because we are acting. It's not real, you know?
Or maybe, okay, we can't even say that he was doing that so that her performance is good. You know? We can't even say that, okay, he did it so that you are amazing. Because I'm sure it's going to feel real now. And then you're going to scream because what? We can't even say that. Because it's not his body. And you're not his partner. Even if you were his partner. If you had said that no.
It's a no.
It's a no.
Yeah. And you know, just speaking about, like, even in terms of partnership, I was on a different podcast and the host asked me, you know, do you think about getting married and things like that? And I understand, like, people's definitions of and understandings and experiences of marriage are so different. But, like, for me, I'm scared because it's like, marriage under what system? The patriarchy? I'm scared of that thing, you know? Or what? Under feminism where I have to hold 50-50? I'm like, do you get what I mean? Like, I know. I think I prefer my sovereignty, you know? And then I also think about, like, marriage in the context of African traditionalism, you know? Like, the more I think about, or rather study about African traditionalism, I realize it's like, it's not someone giving up their name, it's ukuhlangana kwemndeni, which is a very different tone, you know? So, and it makes sense, like when families come together to strengthen, or because they have the same values and alignments, so that more people can protect each other, and, you know, it makes sense, you know? But, there's a lot of things that make me very scary. They're like scared about normal.
What's your healing journey been like since this whole entire incident?
It's been a roller coaster because I think a lot of people have been telling me to heal, and in a very facetious way, like because now
just heal.
Yeah, like heal.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, but what is healing? What does it mean to be well again? And for me, I realized it's to respond appropriately to the situations at hand. And this was infuriating, you know. But it's also, you know, taking ownership of, like, my agency and my power, which is something that I didn't understand what that was. I think I used to outsource that definition a lot, of, like, my personal power. And it's like, damn, like, personal power is actually like, what can I do in the situation? You know, what choices can I make? And what am I allowed to make? And then when you start to think about what am I allowed to do that's within my values and you know, in my responsibility, you start to realize how many beliefs that you have about what you're not allowed to do, even with the things that you're allowed to do. And then there's a lot of us, imagine like now there's a lot of us who have that same thing. Like you're not allowed to go report sexual assault to the cops, right? And people are asking me like, oh, like there's a lot of people who have hate towards the fact that I went to the cops, and there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, the case was closed because there was nothing. I'm like, no, the nuance is that, and if you listen to the recording, that cop didn't understand what sexual assault is. He was like, sexual assault only happens by the hands. And he was like, he must physically grab it like this.
And he's a police officer.
And he's a police and then you hear it. He's like, hey, my sister, hey, let me just go to page 9 to tell you what the real definition of sexual assault, because the one on the government website is vague, and I'm the one telling you because I'm the cop. Ha, ha, ha. It's just like,
we actually listened to that
is
voice note.
appalling.
it is. It is. It's just like, how, so now it's just like, and I need us to understand that like justice is not just what the Constitution says. It's also our beliefs and understandings about what certain things are and whether they're okay or not, right? And if we're not succinct with that, if we don't understand that, all of us together, we're in big trouble. It's like someone being expected to understand what sexual assault is when the definition is in English and the only language they speak is Chivenda.
Me, I'm Venda.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just like, and it's just so sad because it's just like the violence is just, it's nonstop. Because Leah and I'm sure there's limitations to a lot. Yeah.
I just want to find out, because I know a lot of people probably would want to know. Did you go public 2023 or you decided to go now?
I have gone public with this. I think it was 2024, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a show on SABC One that was speaking about like I think there was a rape trial, right? And I started to notice, I'm like, people don't understand what consent really is, like when they were commenting on stuff. So I made a thread about this whole thing. And I was like, I'm like, literally consent education is so important. It needs to be in schools. We need to talk about it like this all the time, and I even made a song about consent, like it's just, people don't understand consent because they've been conditioned to accept coercive control, and that's our legacy, right? That's what we come from, coercive control, years of it, right? So, it makes me sad because it's just like, I understand people's anger and rage when someone asserts their bodily rights, because it's like, I've had to give up my sense of agency and bodily rights. What makes you so special, and it's just like an individual has to like deconstruct themselves and be like, oh my gosh.
You did a movie on Netflix called Umjolo.
Yes.
Right? Was that movie shot after the incident?
Yes.
And that was a romantic role,
yes,
right? You were in love with Yolanda Thomas. Shout out Yolanda. How did that experience alter your approach to another romantic role?
It's not another.
It was a different romantic role. You had that incident, right?
Yeah, okay.
Where it was sexual assault.
Yes.
So how did that incident, like the incident that you went through, how did that alter your approach to a romantic role?
Okay. So because people want the perfect victim, right? It's like, if you're the perfect victim, you must be shaking in a corner all the time. You are covered because you are scared all the time. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like I'm very much gonna do what I want to do and what I consent to do. That's comfortable for me and where I feel safe. And that was a set where I felt safe to show my body, to tell that story in that way. everyone was incredibly respectful. I have to give a shout out to Netflix, as well as Stained Glass, as well as Zuko no Tata for handling that story with so much love and consideration and care and respect. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, it goes back to us not understanding the nuances of things collectively. So people will associate rape with sex. Those two things aren't the same. You know what I mean? One is consensual and the other one is forced. You know what I'm saying? And the environments and the ideologies between those two are not the same. You know what I'm saying? So someone will just, it's like someone will automatically assume because they see an attractive woman, I must have her, or she's my wife. It's just like, no, there's nuances to things, you know? So I still believed in like my agency and my self-sovereignty, and I chose to do that role, and I chose the way I approached it. And I was very blessed to have worked with the co-stars that I worked with. It was handled with care. And when I say Netflix, Tazuko, I really appreciate those people for facilitating that space. Even the camera people, you know, you can be in a room filled with camera people, ADs, it could be all men. And because people understand consent and respect, you know what I'm saying? You will feel completely safe to do that role. You know what I mean? Like the nuances of things, and I think people don't understand the nuances of things. People automatically assume that just because someone is a woman who's gone through assault, that they are a safe space to handle such a delicate violation. It doesn't mean, those things don't mean the same thing. You know, it's like, oh, you're going to feel comfortable because she's a woman. Oh, you're going to feel comfortable because she's an intimacy coordinator. It's not the same. Yeah.
That was a great movie, by the way. I really enjoyed it.
I loved it
I think
too.
I might go home and watch it again. Like, I really enjoyed it. I was like, Sana, in love. Sana, I want to fall in love.
Yes.
I don't like in love movies. I don't. Yeah, it's the only romantic one here.
You know, I'm like, I love a girl. I'm a sucker for romance.
Yo, she is.
I love love. Any opportunity I get to talk
To
about.
fall in love.
She jumps in. Head to toe. Everything.
Have you ever seen that meme with the I don't, it was a goat that was stuck in like umgodi.
Yeah, and then they removed it and then it jumped back in.
That's me and love, that is me and love. Any opportunity I get to fall in love, I grab it like this.
Yes.
So I really enjoyed that movie.
And then Nirvana,
Yes.
what would you like to say, especially to people who are in the space or in the industry, who may have been in the same situation or even worse situation, who maybe can't say anything because obviously if you say something, you're not gonna work, you're not gonna, you know, like, what would you say to that person right now?
The blue ticks. I mean, there was a lot of support, even if it was silent support, that I got from a lot of people who are celebrities, and there was also very disappointing comments. So this is not addressed to the people who have chosen to, like, if they've gone through something and they've chosen to compromise on their human dignity and thus assuming that everyone else must compromise. This message is not for them, unfortunately. This is for the people who still believe in human dignity and have gone through those things. And I feel I just want to say that, like, your comfort is very much important, and it's important to work with people and be in spaces where, you know, everyone shares the same understanding of safety. And because of the nature of the game, you never know who you're going to work with. You never know who you're going to work with, which is why I believe in co-regulating the industry. I believe that we need quality control systems, licensing systems. Like, have you gone through consent training? Have you gone through stunts training? Okay, you have this, you qualify to do these kinds of roles despite your talent, you know, despite the look that you have. Okay, if you have the talent and the look, and you don't have these qualifications, let's get you certified and knowledgeable about consent and knowledgeable about stunts. But you don't move forward doing a production about something as delicate as sexual assault when you don't understand what consent is. And that even goes beyond just the actors. It also goes with the production, the people who are telling the stories. You need to be qualified enough, right? It's not to say that you must be a psychologist. You need to understand the basics of sexual assault. What is it? What is coercive control? Well, okay, how do we protect the people? And it's very, very, very possible to have that, right? And I think there's a lot of individuals within these systems operated by people who are very domineering and controlling and abusive that understand this and understand the nuance of safety. But they can't express that because there's one person who's saying it's my shot. You know, I decide. So for those, you know, like I like for those actors who've been through that, like I know what goes on in those spaces. I know people also just don't like. There's a lot of people, even when you're working with certain people who aren't professional, who don't know the difference between the character being angry and the human being playing the character. You know what I mean? Like there's nuances like where you realize it's like, hey boy, I'm sitting in this makeup chair and the makeup lady is angry at me that I'm angry, but I'm getting into character. You know what I'm saying? Like people, like I feel like we need to be a lot more careful about how people come into the entertainment industry, right? Because there's some people who can't see the difference between reality and fiction, and they can't protect the story because they're taking the story
and making
personally.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I've heard a lot of people say like, I'm trying to get into character and now this is my love interest, and it's just like this is not even my real love interest. You know, I've heard stories like that where you're being reported for stuff. Now on set you are hated for your character. It's so
That's
strange.
wild.
They end up
But then that also
viewers.
means that you're doing a great job with your character, if that's
true.
the case.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nirvana. Thank you for coming. You know,
Sorry, would you advise them to also come out, or maybe when they're comfortable?
I don't think justice looks the same for everyone. Yeah. And I think, you know, like the financial insecurity that you could experience is very real. So if you're not in a position to, and it's not to say that I was in a position to, I'm just like very hard-headed. I'm Pondo and Zulu, you know, like I'm very like, I believe in protecting people and myself, you know? So I went through financial insecurity. I went through my landlord switching off the electricity for 7 days because I didn't know when I was going to get paid. Even if I was like, you know how it takes like 90 days to get your pay, like, you know what I'm saying? Those legislations aren't factored in for, which is why regulating the industry is so important. So like, if you feel like, this is not a battle that I can fight, I understand. And you shouldn't feel like, I get it, because it's literally coming out with this or your money. It is and I'm not joking, because I went through that. I went through going to 10 auditions, being shortlisted for all 10 consecutively and not getting a single one after standing my ground. I've been through that, so I understand if you don't. And I think safety is about strategy now. Like really just try and find a different way of getting money, a more humane and dignified way that doesn't. And I think the commercial industry is a lot more progressive than the rest of the industry, right? I think so. The fact that we get residuals, renewals and things like that. It's not to say that, I mean, it's still behind, like we were speaking about earlier, that the modeling industry in South Africa, there's a lot of things that are behind. Our websites are behind, like governments. Official websites are behind us so much. But I think just empower yourself in a different way outside of the space. If you really are scared of coming out, but if you are compelled to do so and you feel it's right, do it.
Thank you, Nirvana. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. You know, I really don't I hate that I have to applaud you for the courage to speak out, because I feel like as women, we should have an environment where we can speak out freely and it not being classified as courage. You know what I mean? But thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and thank you for trusting us to actually, relive that whole entire experience so that our audience can understand what it is that you went through. And we wish you nothing but the best. And we really hope you get justice for what happened to you.
Thank you. And justice is reform, right? Systemic reform. So please sign the petition. It's change.org, and then it's dignity in film. And this is not just for the film industry. It's just because I don't know if I came up to you guys in like 2018 or 20 when we were still auditioning a lot. But we're trying to create a models guild, and it just couldn't happen. So coming together is very important. So everyone's contribution, whether it's an audience member or someone in the industry, whether you're a model or an actor or a cameraman, please sign the petition. So we have a database of people that we know believe that we need systemic change, and we'll create that together.
Definitely, we're signing the petition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, this episode is going to come out first on Monday on Spotify at 3 p.m. Central Africa time, and again on YouTube on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Africa time.
Thank you, guys. We're not going to do the slogan because we are doing something.
Yes.
With what just happened. So we are doing something, which is signing the petition.
Exactly.
So thank you, guys. And we will see you again next week with something amazing.
Right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Or maybe we can do it and say something. What you gonna do about it?
Something.